Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Tips and Trips. Today we're going to talk about tracking down a possible water leak in our skylight, and then we're going to talk about how to properly flush and maintain your RV toilet, and then we're going to discuss about how to properly dump and maintain your waste tanks in your RV. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today, so don't go away. Be right back. So I noticed in my shower, I don't know if you can see it, but in the skylight in the shower, there is condensation in between the two layers of the glass on the skylight. There, you can see it there. And it's been there for about a week or so. It's not on the outside, it's on the inside. If it was on the outside, it would dry each day. But that's not what's going on. So what I'm going to do is remove the inside. It's actually plastic. It just screws in the ceiling, and remove the bezel with the clear plastic, and then wipe down the condensation that's built up in there, and see, then put it back together and see if it happens again. If it happens again, there's some kind of problem, a leak or something. But with an RV, you gotta be careful about water leaks and damage, because if that condensation is dripping down to the edge, it could be rotting the ceiling material or the roof material. So that's what I'm going to find out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the bezel, and I'll catch you in a few minutes. Okay, so I got it off the bezel, and what I'm seeing there is condensation on that plastic outer part. I don't see any water damage. See little droplets of water right there. Well, you see it's all inside. Didn't leak in from outside. I think it's from taking hot showers. Some moisture got up in there, and now it's trapped and then just keeps condensing. So at first I thought there was water damage here, but that's bone dry. That's not water damage. It might be glue or something. So, and I don't see anything. I looked under here. So it's just droplets. I'm going to wipe this down and then put it all back together and then keep an eye on it. It's probably from taking hot showers and not venting the room with the fan. And so moisture got up in there and then collects and condenses. So wipe it down, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now I have it all back together, and looks good, and that is now totally clear. So if it does it again, I mean, I've had the trailer. This is the third season with it now, and this is the first time I've noticed that. But we're camping when it's extremely cold. Condensation occurs a lot more easily when it's cold outside and warm in here. So but if it does it again, I may consider running some kind of sealant around the inside bezel. We'll see how it goes. So, but this was definitely worthwhile checking into. The condensation, noticed it in there. Got to make sure that you don't have a leak. A water leak in a trailer is a terrible thing to have. It's water travels and wood rots and would not be good if you had water leaking in there. So I had to investigate. It's always worthwhile to check out. And so it's not a water leak, so that's good news. All right, I think anybody can do things like this. You know, it certainly helps to be handy, but yeah, not an absolute requirement to RVing, but it certainly does help. And that's what I hope these videos do, is help those that aren't that handy to go ahead and try and fix things on their own. Boy, you can save a ton of money versus having somebody else do this. The costs can eat you alive. There's always going to be things to maintain and repair in an RV. That's just a fact of life. You have that with the house, but with an RV you have to do it more frequently because these things go through a lot of stress. Well, I hope this helps you. All right, so this is a tip. This is something that we do. It makes it a lot easier to keep the toilet clean. So when you do the number 2, the blade that releases all the water can get all dirty. So what we do is we line the valve with toilet paper. So I kind of, fold it over a few times and like that, and lay it in, and then do our business. It keeps the toilet blade clean, which is important to make a good seal in the toilet. So once you go to dispose of it, you first push partially down on the foot pedal so water runs in, but the valve stays closed. And you fill the bowl up. Water is your friend when it comes to the black tank. So you want to use lots of water to help keep the tank clean. So once you fill up the bowl, then push all the way down and release it. And that's how you maintain that valve cleanliness. And like I said, you want to use a lot of water when you flush solids down in the black tank. This way you don't end up with solids sticking to the bottom of the tank. 'Cause once they form a solid down there, you're never going to get it out. So we want to be able to get all of the solids out. And I say use lots of water. This is the one time water is actually your friend when it comes to this. Now RV toilets have this water that needs to be in there. That is what seals the odors out from the black tank to inside the RV. Now if you don't have water that sits there, then it's leaking out, and what you need to do then is, if you see that black O-ring that goes around, you need to lubricate it. You need every once in a while do that. Pair of gloves, disposable gloves, and Vaseline, and just run the Vaseline around on the O-ring there, and that should resolve the problem. If it doesn't, then that O-ring needs to be replaced, and they are replaceable. But try the Vaseline first. That should work. And you just need to do that every once in a while if it doesn't hold water there. Okay, so it's time to check the tanks. I'm not going to worry about fresh water. Black tank shows full. My gray tank is full. It's gray tank number 1. that would be the shower and bathroom sink. Then I got a second gray tank, shows 2/3 full, and that would be the kitchen sink. So it looks like we should be dumping the tanks. I don't leave them open. I leave them closed until they need to be dumped. Number one, it keeps odors from the RV park sewer lines from backing up into the trailer. And also, I like to fill the tanks up and then totally flush them. Helps keep the tanks clean. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to go dump the tanks. All right, so first thing I do is I dump the black tank, and there's usually labeling gray tank, black tank, and then this RV has a second gray tank. That one is from the kitchen. This gray tank is from the shower and the bathroom sink, and of course the black tank is the toilet. So we're going to open that valve first, the black tank, which is this handle here. Now you'll notice I use a sectionaire that's clear. This way I can see what's going on, and all the waste solids and that are flowing through. This way I can see, rather than having to rely on hearing, that it's done. And while that's doing that, there is on the newer RVs like this one, there's a garden hose connection. This is where you would hook up a garden hose. First of all, this is for the black tank to flush it out. So you need to do that. I do it every time when I'm traveling. When I dump, I flush the system. There's this like a sprayer nozzle at the top of the tank, and it helps spray stuff off the sides of the tank. So I have a hose that's dedicated to that. I wouldn't use your regular drinking hose. You smell vapor come up through there. So just use that for flushing. And like I said, a specific hose just for that purpose. All right, so this looks like it's almost done. It's down to a trickle. Okay, so once the black tank is emptied, we want to flush it really good. And this RV actually has a port, as I showed you earlier, which is basically a sprayer nozzle at the top of the black tank, and it sprays around down the sides and that to help clean it. So I'm gonna use this garden hose, and I've put a black duct tape on it, so I know this is for flushing the black tank. This hose is dedicated for that purpose only. I've connected my water hose to the RV flushing port and to the water supply. You leave the go ahead and turn that on. You leave the black tank valve open, which it is, And now it's spraying in there, and I'm watching the water come out, and as you see, it's cleaning out some stuff. You see some stuff going by. So now if you don't have one of these on your RV, then the next best thing you can do, well, a lot of stuff coming out. You can see just by pulling that valve open, it's not enough. If you don't have this kind of setup on your RV, then I would recommend pouring buckets of water down the toilet. Close the valve, put a bunch of water down in the toilet, and then pull the valve open again. They also sell these wands with these very small holes in the end that you can stick down in the toilet and spray off the sides of the black tank as well. This kind of system is very highly rated. It's the best there is. But your second best bet would be either buckets of water or that wand. Camco makes it. Amazon sells it, and I'll provide a link for it. But that should work as well too. But that becomes more of a two-person operation. Never do this flush with this kind of system, okay, with the valve closed. Always leave it open. Don't need any water backing up into the RV. So I just let this run until I don't see any more solids come through, where we're just getting water. Want a good flush. Okay, so this has been running for a couple of minutes now, and it looks like it's running clear. This is why I like having this clear section of pipe, so I can see what's going on. So I don't see any more matter coming out. I just see water at this point. So I have to assume the tank is pretty clean. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the water and disconnect that hose. Let the rest of that drain out. And then we'll dump the gray tank. So it's very important to make sure that this tank is cleaned out good. You don't need obstructions to develop. Like I said, things will solidify after a while. And if it gets too bad, you end up having to replace the tank. And that would not be a cheap proposition. Now that the black tank is emptied, I'll close the valve and open the gray tank, and that will flush out your sewer hose. Also makes it a lot cleaner to deal with if that hose is all flushed out with just gray water. A lot more pleasant to deal with the hose then. Okay, so a lot less water coming out now. I'm not going to be too concerned about getting everything totally empty, since we are at an RV park that we're staying for a while. We're going to pull the kitchen gray water. Okay, and so it looks like that's pretty well done. So now I'll close that valve. Okay, be sure the valves are all all the way in. All right. And so that's how you do that. Okay, once you've emptied your black tank, then I use this TST. They're in these convenient pouches so you don't come in contact with the chemicals. And open the toilet, run some water down there, and drop that in. Okay. I like to put plenty of water down there. All right. And then what I use in the sinks is this Elemonate. Has a nice lemon odor to it, but it deodorizes the gray tank, and it also helps clean the tank out from scum and stuff. So I put one of these down the bathroom sink, which is tied in with the shower. You get soap scum with that. And then I put another one, because it's a separate tank, for the kitchen sink. If your RV, if they're combined, then only use the one. If you got two separate gray tanks, then I put one of these in the kitchen sink as well. So these are a tablet, and you rip open the package. So, all right, so there's the tablet, and you just run water on it until it's totally dissolved. It dissolves pretty easy. And it's all gone. So it smells good. And then I put one in the Alrighty, so that concludes another episode of RV Tips and Trips. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And till next time, happy camping. Bye now.